Hello, thanks for joining us again on the channel. I've been wanting to talk about this for ages, and now that a friend finally got one, we can dive into his experience. Quick note before we begin, there's a discount link in the description and the top comment if you want to check it out. Now let's not waste any more time and jump right into the details.
Let's start with our first reviewer's experience.
This reviewer found this mouse to be exceptionally comfortable in hand, highlighting the horizontal scroll wheel as a standout feature. For them, it was a genuine improvement, making side-to-side navigation much faster and more intuitive than the common method of tilting the main wheel. Furthermore, our reviewer noted a significant improvement in wireless stability. While a previous peripheral from the same company had persistent Bluetooth disconnection issues, this new model maintains a solid and reliable connection, which was a welcome fix. The tracking was also found to be very precise, performing flawlessly on every surface it was tested on. Another major plus for this client was the rechargeable battery. They expressed a strong dislike for replacing disposable batteries, so the convenience of simply plugging this device in was a huge benefit. While not tested to full depletion, the battery life seems excellent, and our reviewer found it easy to keep topped up with a magnetic USB charger between uses. However, the experience wasn't without its drawbacks. This client primarily uses the device as a travel mouse and noted that the clicks are quite loud, which could be a problem in quiet environments or when trying not to disturb a partner. While perhaps only slightly louder than a typical mouse, it is certainly not a silent option for those who need it. The other minor complaint was regarding the overall value. For the price paid, this reviewer felt the mouse was a bit expensive for its feature set, suggesting that the inclusion of a few extra programmable buttons would have made the cost feel more justified. It wasn't a deal breaker, but it was a point of consideration for them.
Now, let's hear directly from our first reviewer about their experience.
This reviewer mentions they were a long-time loyal user of a different model, having gone through several of them over the years. While they loved the feel of that particular device, its tendency to fail them eventually became a recurring issue. Faced with needing an immediate replacement without wanting to shell out a significant amount of money, they decided to take a chance on this particular wireless mouse. Our reviewer was pleasantly surprised to find that it was a darn good replacement. The size and fit in their hand were remarkably similar to their old favorite, making the transition seamless. While it lacks some of the extra thumb buttons found on their previous device, this client notes that it wasn't a loss for them as they had stopped using those features anyway. Overall, they consider it a great little wireless device that serves its purpose well. The only point of uncertainty for them is the longevity of the internal rechargeable battery, but that is something only time will tell. However, the primary source of frustration for this user is the design of the charging port. It's recessed just a bit too far into the body of the mouse, which unfortunately prevents them from using their preferred magnetic charging connectors. The magnetic plug simply can't seat itself properly due to the indentation. Adding to this minor annoyance is the connector type itself. Our reviewer expressed a wish for a more modern, reversible port, lamenting the familiar struggle of having to flip the plug over multiple times before it finally slots in correctly. Despite this design quirk, the overall experience has been overwhelmingly positive.
Alright, let's find out what our next reviewer has to share.
This reviewer wanted to share their experience after purchasing this wireless mouse for their wife. Having previously used a high-end competitor model, they were looking for a more budget-friendly alternative with similar functionality, particularly for photo editing in programs like Photoshop. A reviewer found this device to be adequate but ultimately a clear step down from the pricier model. While the ergonomic design and wireless connectivity were appreciated, the overall build quality felt less premium. Specifically, the scroll wheel and associated buttons felt noticeably cheaper in construction. The weight also didn't offer the same substantial feel. A major difference noted by this client was the limited customization options. The high-end model has many assignable buttons that let you program special shortcuts such as opening files or folders with a simple click, but this mouse has far fewer options. The review states that if you're looking for a simple, ergonomic wireless mouse with a side scroll bar and a reasonable price, this might be a great option for you. However, if you're involved in creative work or need customizable buttons for specific actions, they would recommend spending a bit extra for a more robust device. The client believes the extra cost will be well worth it in the long run.
That's it for this one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Appreciate you watching. See you next time.